Prisoner of Azkaban. I gotta say, well, let's start off with excitement. Going into this movie, I had more expectations than I did for Chamber of Secrets, but still nothing too high. I still knew, I think it's still the idea that this is a whole franchise. I know there's more movies coming, so there's more to expect. And I shouldn't still expect too much. I gotta say that still has the same effect to me. But after seeing Chamber of Secrets and seeing that both movies, like how rarely back-to-back movies, how rarely the original and the sequel do so amazing and are almost even better in both aspects. So I was really hyped to go see this movie. I was thinking this is gonna be an amazing movie.
Yeah, I never think about it like that to where like I never feel like they have to lower the expectations. I mean, what's gonna happen because there's more movies ahead. Because I never thought of that. I wasn't cognitively aware of that. But I was really hyped. At this time, my excitement for every other movie just went up and up and up. And Prisoner of Azkaban, I guess like, for people who read books and know what like each movie is about, their excitement is based off that books. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's just what to think about. But I was really
Okay.
excited for this movie.
I mean, I don't have much else to say. I've talked a lot about what causes my excitement. So I think I know where I'm at for all of the other movies, but let's go ahead, vote for this. Excitement, out of 10.
Uh,
Okay. Plotline.
let me run down everything I remember that's hyping this movie. There's one thing about this movie, about the plot, where I would give it a minus
What about it?
for what they did. They used time travel, and we all know what that does. Remember that, Yavnik?
Okay. Yeah. I don't
They
know.
used time travel.
You know what I gotta say? Um,
Yeah.
if you go check out the one of my favorite YouTubers right now, Ryan George, who makes the pitch meetings, and he has his own
Oh yeah.
channel where he has a lot of fun stuff. He brought up the point that I mean everybody probably knows this. They use time travel, and then they never use it again in the entire
Yeah.
franchise. I hate that.
Yeah.
The thing is
It's
that
like a tool.
I would rather if they bring up time travel, they do that where they don't go back to what is a cheap out. But also, just don't bring up time travel because
Yeah.
now you it just doesn't make any sense if you're gonna go in, introduce time travel, and then never use it again.
They did use it in the play, the new play that J.K. Rowling made with like some other people. The Cursed Child.
Hmm.
I watched something about it. I don't watch the play, but like I watched like a review almost, and you know how it got terrible reviews. And what they did in
Oh,
that movie was they did time travel. No one likes that, so
yo,
no,
you know what you got to say though?
yeah.
That the beginning, finally seeing Harry run away and like, just like uh give
Yo,
the
yeah,
give them the what's the family's name? How do I keep forgetting
deadly,
this?
deadly.
The Dudleys a piece of his mind, and then
Yo,
he blew up
yeah,
the fat guy's
yeah, that's
sister.
crazy.
That beginning was amazing, and then the bus. You gotta love that scene, man.
Oh yeah, the
And then,
directing here.
dude,
This one directing sounds pretty good, but no cap.
no, I'm gonna get to that. Sirius Black. Sirius Black is probably you don't like Sirius Black.
No, no, I'm saying like this is too good.
Exactly.
One of the best
This movie,
characters, bro.
this movie introduces Sirius Black, dude. Even though they use time travel, the way that they used it, I gotta say, it's one of the better
Yeah,
uses of time
yeah,
travel in any franchise, in any
yeah.
movie in general. I gotta say, it's 100 times better than the use of time travel in Endgame, though.
But yeah, and it's not really major as Endgame, and it's like I um I honestly like I didn't really have a problem with it too much when I was watching the movie. I had no problem actually until like afterwards. I'm looking back at the movie and I'm like, wow, they used time travel, which lowered my uh, uh praise
Oh,
for the movie.
now as I'm watching the trailer, I'm really starting to realize how amazing the entire franchise is at
But
build up. Just look at the tree. This scene with the tree. This was built up in the last movie, and now it's coming into play. And all of these things, they just do a great job. Sprinkle in one thing here, 2 movies later, shows up, does something great. This is something that the MCU it takes advantage of a little bit. Here, it just seems so uh, natural, I guess.
Yeah, and one
And
thing we didn't talk about really was Sirius Black and all the cool characters, all the
dude,
cool pieces.
Sirius Black
We're
has some
forgetting about
amazing build up.
the professor of dark arts and how he was a
Oh
werewolf.
yeah,
Scene.
that stuff was crazy. And then just the reveal of how Sirius Black is actually what is he, his godfather? You
Yeah.
know, I gotta say, I was like so sad. When Sirius Black was like, "Oh, once this is all over with, you can come live with me. Leave those dreadful Dudleys behind." And then once Sirius Black had to leave, I was like, "Nah, bro, I don't want
Yeah,
Harry to go back."
I'm
It
saying, man.
that is the I would say top five saddest parts of the entire franchise to me. Once I realized that Harry Potter can't go with Sirius Black and live with his godfather. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, when he died, that
there
was
were so many twists done so well in this movie, and then
yeah.
how they showed the rat, Ron's rat.
Oh,
He turned,
was this in the movie?
yeah,
Oh, John,
this shit
bro.
was fire, man.
Oh. And you know how like what happened to Hagrid, where like they tried to kick him out of
Oh
like
yeah,
house,
bro.
and then like they tried to kill his. They killed his. No, yo, okay,
Yo,
hold on.
no, wait.
Yeah,
That is this
the
movie
blood.
because they went back in time and saved them.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they wanted to save like the big like horse bird thing, and like
bro.
remember that scene where like they were on a field trip. Oh, remember the
Oh,
books that was
that
trying to eat them?
was yeah.
Yo, and like
Bro,
Draco Malfoy got hit with the thing with jig and oh,
yo, even more stuff happened in this. This I gotta say, this is how you do a franchise correctly.
that's facts, bro. That's
Yo,
bad.
my, there's so much stuff that they work into this movie. And actually, before I say too much, let's go ahead and vote, and then I'll get into. I was about to get into the pacing. Plot line. Go ahead, vote. Out of 10.
Oh man, gotta give it this.
Ah,
I gotta do it.
oh.
Oh, actually, hold on. Just because time travel, you know what? I don't even care, bro. I like time travel in this movie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. How else would they have done it? I don't know.
Okay, I gotta do this. Ah, okay. Pacing. I want to go ahead and start talking about the pacing. The pacing of this movie. We just talked about how much stuff is in this movie. This movie goes by so freaking quickly. You want to watch more of this one. When I was binge watching the franchise earlier this summer, uh, the first two movies, not gonna lie, I talked about it. If they felt kind of long to me, and then it was I think like midnight, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'll watch Prisoner of Azkaban tomorrow. But then, for some reason, my mind was just like, I'm not feeling sleepy. Let me get half of this done today. I started watching. I got halfway point. I was like, wait a sec. I looked. By the time I thought I was about an hour in, I was actually 2 hours in, and there were only about 30 minutes left. This movie
Yo,
does an amazing job with the pacing. No, everything feels so natural in this movie.
like. I had a revelation about what this movie additionally had to offer.
Go
The
ahead.
Dementors, the expected Patronum.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Remember that scene? Expect.
Oh,
Look at you, so crazy. I just realized that too.
this movie does so much amazing stuff,
Yeah, and I
bro.
think they introduced like the spells like Crucio and stuff. I think they introduced
Yo,
those too.
remember how I brought up in the first two movies, it feels at points too much exposition, right? I'm thinking about it. This movie probably does even more exposition, but it's
Yeah,
just hidden as amazing story.
yeah, and like they developed like a bond between Harry Potter and the dark arts teacher,
Yeah.
who would turn into the werewolf that they were fighting too.
Oh yeah, that I'm gonna get into that. Let's go ahead and vote because each of these things I'm starting to think of even more to think about for the next one. So let's go ahead and vote for pacing.
All right,
Oh, I'm gonna have to do this again. Oh,
this movie,
oh, this movie's so amazing.
these
Okay,
movies deserve like their own video. I'd have to say.
I might have to do this. I mean, oh my goodness, I might have to do it where we break up this podcast
Yo,
because
maybe.
I'm thinking that we're talking about each of these movies for about 20 minutes. So we might
Yeah.
have to. I might just do this as a series.
What I really want to do is like watch it with the squad, so then
Yo,
like our memories are fresh.
yo, Nebby, you know what I'm thinking about? This is
Yeah.
something that we can do for both my channel and your channel. Maybe over winter break or at some point in time, we're all, if we're ever allowed to, meet up again,
Yeah,
we're all gonna sit down and binge the entire Harry Potter series, no sleep.
100%, man. Especially like in college, let's say like some of us are dorm rooms, some of
Yes,
us all
sir.
come visits, man. We
Oh,
just have days where we
binge,
watch
binge it
Shrek,
all.
the entire franchise
Bro,
again.
Shrek, yo, you gotta watch Sean Chandler Talks About. He's probably, I'm gonna say, one of the most underrated channels on YouTube. He has some he has some amazing content.
Uh,
Okay.
I'll check it out. Check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Directorial stamp. I'm about to praise the heck out. This is the first movie that I gotta say really feels like has its own stamp. And you wanna know why? It's because it was
Uh,
made by Alfonso Cuarón. In my
oh,
opinion, this guy is the third best director out right now, possibly
dang.
second. You want
And
to
then Christopher
the
Nolan?
movies that he makes? He's an actual director. He's not like a blockbuster director. This movie makes Gravity, Children of Men. The and a lot of people didn't like the fact that they chose him because right before Harry Potter in Prisoner of Azkaban, he made a movie about he made a very rated R movie that talks about, a lot about kind of the more, I'm not going to say the words here, the more uh dark sides of humanity. And then coming to Prisoner of Azkaban, he was it wasn't very overhyped, his presence, but he put such a distinct stamp on this movie. What I think is this is the one movie in the entire franchise where you can go in, watch this movie alone, and you don't have to watch the rest. This movie has its a standalone ability,
Yeah, yeah. So
and that's mainly because just Koran is such an amazing director. You were just talking about it a few seconds ago. There are certain aspects of the movie overall that you can tell this guy had a distinct approach. It's much darker than the first three movies, both looking at the lighting, the cinematography, the way that the overall movie is set up. I'm gonna go ahead and let you talk as I have a whole bunch to brag about for one specific scene and the cinematic beauty of it. Go ahead, talk a little bit about it. What do you think about the style of the movie?
um, well, man, I don't even know, man. It's just good, man. That's my opinion, bro. I don't know, man. Yo, man,
Uh,
I'm
what
speechless.
what's that one scene where what was the teacher's name again?
Professor, I don't know. I don't know.
Lupin? Is that Lupin?
Lupin. Yeah, you got it. Professor Lupin.
Oh, this scene right here, where Harry is talking to Lupin, right?
Yeah.
You can look at this. I'll speed it up a little bit, where you can look at the cinematic
I
view.
don't know why I can't see
First,
the trailers or like your screen for some reason on mine.
oh, okay. Can you see it
It's
now?
hard.
I have made a full screen. I'm about to analyze the movie a little bit. This scene
Oh
right
yeah, I can
here.
see it now. Yeah, there we
Okay,
go.
looking at this scene, you can see the original. This is right after Harry. We were just
Yeah,
talking about it. It was so sad he couldn't go to the field trip. This is another
yeah.
thing.
I was watching this movie.
Earlier on in the movie, this was already built up. He remember when Harry talked to what was his godfather-ish, I guess,
Yeah,
the
I think.
Dudley father, and he was like, "Oh, can you please sign this for me?" And he was like, "What for?" And he was like, "Ah, nothing." And then they were just like, "Okay, you act good tonight, you get it." But this was something else that's been built up already in the movie. Right there, look at this.
Yo.
Look at boom. Look at the cinematography and how it just builds up
Oh
Harry's
yeah.
isolation, his solitude, how it builds up the landscape. It's just such an amazing movie. And then right here, I
This
I don't
classic
want to
moment.
analyze this too much. Looking at how they're talking, this is right around where Lupin is admitting to Harry how much he knows about him and how much what a connection he had with his parents. So much emotional aspects of this movie just being revealed right here. And then right there, just the character acting and the directing. As soon as he turns around, this is right around the time where it's all revealed, where Lupin's true identity is kind of revealed to Harry. And then right here, he turns away. He's trying to hide what he knows. The ability of Cuarón to really just hide all of these minute details into this movie is
Yeah.
freaking beautiful.
That's yeah. And it's like,
The
man,
slow
was it this
pan, the
movie where they were like
cinematography.
they went to like the shop and then he was in his invisibility cloak and he they were
Yeah,
walking and it was like snowing
yeah.
and then like they had like the snowball fight with like was that in this movie?
I think that's in the next movie.
I don't want to get ahead
Okay,
of
hold on.
myself.
Okay, hold on. Right here, just before I sign off, I want to say, just point out this. Looking at the cinematography, look at how the slow pan in as he comes back. You never get to have a close up of Professor Lupin. You never get to have like a deep
Oh
look
wow!
into his mind or just a deep look into him. It's a
But
it's
there was one moment
amazing.
though where they zoom in. I think when he becomes like a werewolf, they
Yeah,
zoom into his face.
exactly. The directing.
Yo,
You can
I
tell
never realized.
that so much work was put into this movie. And
Yeah,
I mean I'm gonna go ahead and put my score down.
dang man. You know what? Me too.
Oh my, if I could probably, I might even make a whole video about this week just because of the
Yeah,
cinema
man.
beauty, man.
I wish it was more relevant though. You know what I mean? Because dang, we were unlucky like that. I mean, I guess we're lucky, but like we unfortunate that it's not as talked about. Harry Potter as it should be. I
Okay,
think
let's go. Let's go to
should have.
payoff. I gotta say, given all
You
we have talked about, I want to bring it up again. I didn't go into this movie with the highest of expectations, but one thing that you said, after the first two movies, they're great. I know. I'm going into every single movie from this point on. I'm gonna know this is gonna be a good movie. I'm excited to see it. In the payoff, we talked
Yeah,
about all of the different plot lines and subplots of this movie and how they do almost every single thing perfectly. There's nothing that's overstepped on. There's nothing that's understepped on. At the end, they bring up Sirius back in the beginning. You get to see progression in this movie. You get to see Harry Potter's progression, and this is the movie where you can really start to see Harry Potter. And as he becomes older, you can see his change up physically. You kind of see, he's starting to become a man at this point.
exactly. And one thing, man, that like other shows and like movies that I feel sorry for is
Mhm.
like their kid actors.
Mhm.
They don't end up being that like you know what I mean. They
It's
turn out bad when they get older.
such perfect casting. I can't
Same.
praise that enough. I If you have anything else to say, go ahead. I know what I'm going to give it for payoff. Go ahead, man.
Well, this movie really settled it. You know what I mean? Basically, because this movie changed up the whole tone. It changed up
Yes.
the game. So
If
yeah, I don't know, man.
any
This is okay.
doubts that anybody had about Harry Potter, they were shattered with this movie. You can't have any more doubts after this.
Honestly, like no movie like honestly like I feel Marvel movies now comparing
Hmm.
it to this. I mean, like I like almost every Marvel movie.
Yeah, but
It doesn't really give you a range of emotions. You know what I mean? Like it gives you one emotion that makes you like sad. Like the Harry Potter, the music and it's
Harry,
like it's a journey, man. Unlike any other.
there's just franchises. I'll say Pirates of the Caribbean, MCU, and Harry Potter. When it comes to the scores and the like distinct sound, that if you ever hear this, you automatically know. Oh, that's Jack Sparrow. Oh, that's Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the Avengers. This
yeah.
movie has one of those scores right there. Okay, so I know what I'm. Did we rate already for payoff? One, two, or
Let
five.
me.
I put down my score for payoff.
You know what? Yeah, I put my score too. I might have. You know what? Yeah, I have to.
Okay, critical acclaim. Let's go see if the critics agree with us.
All
Let's
right.
start off with Rotten Tomatoes.
I will judge the
90,
critics harshly.
ninety
Oh no, what's the
percent
judge? 98?
90. I gotta say,
Uh,
I think that's low.
yeah, yeah. I thought you said 98. I was like, they did
No,
well this time. But
you know,
90, right?
you know what I gotta say though.
What?
I I I, I already hated on Black Panther in our MCU podcast, but the fact that Black Panther has a 97
Oh
and this
yeah,
has
yeah,
a
yeah.
90,
Yeah. I
no.
mean, whenever you said, whenever you would criticize like Black Panther, which I thought was a good movie, but you were like, you told me how they fit like this movie at 98. I was like, I don't really understand like the scaling of Rotten Tomatoes. Now that you put it up to this movie, what they put at a 90,
90.
compared this movie to Black
This
Panther,
movie.
it doesn't hold up.
Okay, let's see if IMDb can redeem itself a little bit here. Prisoner of Azkaban, 2004, 7.9.
What the heck,
I'm
man?
not gonna say anything. Okay, let's see what other movies. This is the third entry. Let's think about Thor Ragnarok.
All right.
This is, ooh, I gotta say it has a 93 and a 7.9. It has I don't know. I think that Prisoner of Azkaban might be slightly better than Ragnarok.
For sure, man. I know you really love Ragnarok though. So
I really
you
love
saying that means
Ragnarok.
more than me saying it.
Yes, me saying Prisoner of Azkaban is better than Ragnarok
Means
is
a lot.
it's a lot, and it's on equal stances with for IMDb, but I don't think it's 3 percentage points better than Azkaban when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm gonna say I don't really trust Rotten Tomatoes that much. Let's look at
Yeah.
Civil War. Civil War.
All right, let me get my wand, bro. I got a wand. Go get my wand, bro.
Civil War has a 90 and a 7.8. It's right around the same range. Once again, I think that Prisoner of Azkaban is better.
Then
Civil
what?
War than Civil War, and that's like these are movies that are super close. But I just gotta say, Prisoner of Azkaban just has that slight edge over these movies.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. What I think
Wait,
is,
quick question. Are
yeah,
you a Gryffindor or a Hufflepuff or a Slytherin? What house do you belong to?
you know what? A lot of people say that they're Slytherins. I, I don't.
Yeah,
It's like something that everybody says nowadays. They're like, the Slytherins get too much hate, and I want to say that that is some deserved hate.
for sure. Slytherin does evil, bro.
And um, I gotta say, I don't think that this might be cliche, but I would just rather be with Harry Potter. I, I,
100%. Okay, let's
I'm,
say
I'm,
that Harry Potter wasn't there though, and no Hermione. Like, it was a different generation. Which one is the funnest house to be in? Everybody says Hufflepuff. They laid back. They be eating good. Hufflepuff the way to go. I really want a movie about though. I want a movie about the backstory to these houses. Like, I want to see, what like Slytherin is named after some guy, and like so is Gryffindor. Like, I want to see like they founded the school. I
mhm.
want to see their stories. That'd be fine.
Okay, so this here has a averaging them out 8.45. This is the highest score yet.
Yeah.
Critical acclaim. Let's go ahead and give our scores.
I
Okay,
I
so payoff. I gave it an 8.
are you going to pay off? Whoa, 8 payoff?
That's
Oh,
not. No, sorry. Excitement. I gave it an 8.
Simon? Oh wow, okay. I gave it a 7.5.
Hey, pretty close. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna stop right here. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I gave it a 10 for everything else.
Yo, Capping a 10?
Yes, for
Wow. God dang,
I really think that this movie is near
Yeah,
perfect, man.
wow. I gave it a 9 for plot, 9 for pacing, and a 9 for directional stamp, and I gave it a 10 for payoff. So we were really close.
All right, and
Yeah.
as of right now, I think it's clear that Azkaban has the lead. And
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. To be fairly truthful, I don't think anything but Deathly Hollows Part 2 has a big chance of surpassing.